ಇಲ್ಲ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮಳೆ ಜೋರಿತ್ತ ನಿನ್ನೆ? ರಾತ್ರಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹನಿ ಇತ್ತು ನಾವು ಮಲ್ಬೇಕಾದಾಗ 11:30-12 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ. 5:30 ರಾತ್ರಿ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇತ್ತು.
ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿ ಮಳೆ
ಇತ್ತು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಂತೋದೆ. ಸೂಪರ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ನಾ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೆ.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಈ ಹುಡುಗರು ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು. ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಓಕೆ ಆದ ಸ್ವಾಗತದಿಂದ. ಬಟ್ ನಾ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೂಲು ಮಾಲ್ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಹೋಗಿದ್ ನಾವು.
ಅದೇ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಆಚೆಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ರೂಟು ಹಿಂಗ ಒಂದು ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಒಂಥರ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಇದೆ ಅದು.
ಸರ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಹೊಡೆದಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡಿಮಾರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೇನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು.
ಓಕೆ,
ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಇತ್ತು ಮುಂಚೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇವಾಗ ಗರುಡ ಮಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಇವಾಗ ಗರುಡ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು
ಮಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಿಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಹಿಂಗಿರೋ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಡೀತಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇನ್ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಮೂವಿ ಏನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ನಾವ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಜಯಿಂದ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬಂದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಜಯ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ದೇವಗನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೋ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಅಜಯ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣನ್. ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಇಂದ ಒಂದು ಲಾಯರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನ, ಅವಾಗ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಬೆಳವಡಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಯುದ್ಧ ಕಂಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು 8-10 ಜನ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬೇರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು. ಅವ್ರದೇ ಯಾವ್ದ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಹೊರಟಾಕಿದ್ರು ಮೇನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಹೇಗೆ
ಅವರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಾಕಿದ್ರು.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ.
ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕಸ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ಇದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
ಬಟ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಜನ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹಿಂಗ ಆದಂತ ನಮಗೂ
ಈ ಯಶ್ ಮೂವಿ, ಪ್ರಭಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್
ಅದೇ ಕಲ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಇರೋ ಹೀರೋಯಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶೋ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಮೂವಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಖಾಲಿ ಬಿದ್ದಿರ್ತಾವಾಗ.
4 ಜನರು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
ಹೌದಾ?
4-5 ಜನರು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಡೌಟ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ
ಅಂತ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ನಾನು ಸಯಾರಾಗ ಅದೇ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್.
ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? ಸಯಾರ
ಎಲ್ಲ ಕುತ್ಕೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಫುಲ್ ಅವರೇ.
ಅದೊಂದು ಮೂವಿ, ಆ ಮೂವಿ ಬಂದ
ಸರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್, ಹೀರೋ ಅವರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
ಹೌದು, ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಫುಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿನೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ
ಮೂವಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಫುಲ್ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಕಿರ್ಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು.
ತಿನ್ನೋದು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಫುಲ್ ಅದೇ, ಇಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ. ಶುರು ಮಾಡುವ, ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ. ಹೇಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರ ಅವ್ರು? ಇನ್ನು ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೋ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅದು? ಅದ ಮಾತ್ರ So the next concept in Components Act is, my throat is already gone, you should adjust with the sound. No other option. Classification of capital. The Companies Act classifies capital into five types. One is nominal or authorized capital, then issued capital, subscribed, called up, and paid up capital. What is this authorized capital? Authorized capital is a capital which a company can raise maximum in its lifetime, beyond which it is not allowed to raise by way of issue of shares to the company. Out of the total authorized capital, the part of the capital which is presently issued for the public is called as issued capital. Out of the total issued capital, how much shares are being subscribed by the public, how much shares are purchased by the public are called as subscribed capital. Out of the total subscribed capital, consider rupees 10 is the face value. How much did you call? Have you called 10 rupees entirely? Have you called 5 rupees first call, application money, allotment money? That shares are called as called up capital. In that, whatever the money they paid is called as paid up capital. Remaining, which is unpaid, is called as calls in arrears. Calls in arrears. The call is made, but it is still in arrears. So the authorized capital is also called as nominal, is also called as registered capital. Why it is registered capital? Because it is registered with ROC under MOA. MOA has to be filed with ROC. It is being a maximum amount which it is authorized to raise by issuing the shares, and upon which it pays the stamp duty. क्या करें जल्दी बता रहे
सर ऑटो मेंटेन
आराम आराम से you know सुन रहे हो. Then issued capital. Issued capital means company issues from time to time for subscription. That means, consider, if I take an example, example is better to understand. Company, whenever it is incorporated, it has decided it will issue 10 lakh shares of rupees 10 each. It wanted to raise so much of capital. How much it is? 1 crore rupees. But company does not need 1 crore rupees on immediate basis. That is why what it does is, it is a maximum amount. It is the maximum amount that a company can raise. But out of which company feels that it need only 50 lakh rupees now. That is why it decides to issue 5 lakh shares of rupees 10. They decided they need this 50 lakh rupees for the current year, out of which it is will be 50 lakh. So this is the amount required for the current year. But when I say current year, I issue to the public. Consider public has subscribed 4,50,000 shares. Entire share capital has not purchased by the share this much. That is why it is around 45 lakh. What is that? It is subscribed by public. Subscribed by public. It is the total money that company can raise in the entire lifetime. But out of which it need only 50 lakh rupees for the current year. But the what is it? Shareholders are public subscribed. Okay, we will take 5 lakh only because that will be better. 5 lakh shares of 10 is 50 lakh rupees. They subscribe entirely. It is subscribed, but company felt, yes, I need 50 lakh rupees for current year, but I don't need it today only. That's why what it does is, it will call for same 5 lakh out of 5 lakh shares. Out of 5 lakh shares, I need only 30 lakh rupees today. When I say 30 lakh rupees, I'll call only 6 rupees as of today. We call it as application money, allotment money, first call money, something like that. This is what we call it as called up capital. Out of it, some shareholders might not pay the money, or some shareholders might default in payment of money. So whatever the money which is actually received by the company, they received 4,95,000 shares of rupees 6 each. Some X amount will be there. I don't know. So we call it as paid up capital. This is what the total paid up capital. So types of capital are five types. One is authorized, issued, subscribed, called up, and paid up. Sir, whatever this remaining 5,000 shares are there, this remaining 5,000 shares multiplied by rupees 6. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತೈತೆ? 30,000. That means it is 29 lakh 70,000. They paid 29 lakh 70,000. This is what calls in arrears. I made a call, but it is still in arrear. It is not yet paid. This is what the kinds of capital. It is a maximum amount that can be raised, out of which the company issues from time to time 5 lakh shares, 1 lakh share, 2 lakh shares. That is what we call as called up capital. And out of which how much shares are being subscribed. Generally, in the recent times, it is fully subscribed, sometimes over subscription also, except it is some undervalued company. It is the subscribed capital, out of which how much shares are being, so how much money is called up and how much is paid up, how many shares is being paid up. This is classification of capital. Called up, paid up. Okay. What is share? Shares means what? Shares means share in a share capital of a company. Sir, what do you mean by share in a share capital of a company? See, there means a share in the share capital of a company, and it includes the stock. We know stock. What is stock? It is the number of shares combined together. We call it as bundle of shares. 10 shares combined together, we call it as one stock. Or 5 shares combined together, we call it one stock. More than one share is equal to one stock. We can made it. As of that, we can issue the stock in fractional value, but the shares can't be issued in a fraction. Shares has to be issued in a full number only. Now, means a share in the share capital of a company. What is this share? Share means it is part. This, see, out of this total thing, this is my share, this is your share. That part of share we are talking about. The part in the share capital of a company. Consider I have 1 lakh shares, out of which consider one share will be there. This part is called as a share. Share means it is share in the share capital of a company, and it includes a stock. And as per Companies Act, shares are movable property. It can be transferred from person to person. That is why it is a movable property. And shares shall be serially numbered. What do you mean by serially numbered? Yeah, I will say the share certificate. I have shown it, but even then, I will show it. It's a regular class. ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು CMA ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್. This is debenture certificate. This here it is a share certificate of Reliance Limited. They say it is equity shares of rupees 10 each, and what is the paid up value? Paid up is also 10 rupees. If you see, there they have written, it is not clear entirely. There is certificate number here. At what is the number of certificate? And it contains the name of shareholder, Zareen Nusli Patel, uh, Firdays Nusli Patel, and they have given the address. That's okay. We see they have numbered it. They call it distinct numbers. What is distinct number? Whatever the number of shares I have, the numbered share, you don't have the same number of share. You also don't have the same number of share. First few things are common here, up to double two. If you see here, it is also same till double two. Last 725 to 738. That means totally 14 shares are being issued. It is distinctly numbered. Double one 74 triple two 725 to double one 74 triple two 738 till those shares it's belonging to this Nusli Patel, and it is numbered also. It is written in this also. It is dated 28th of January 1998, and it is signed by two people, managing director and one director, and one authorized signatory. And if you see here, there is some common seal here. This is what we call it as common seal. It is not the printed one; it is the engraved one. So the same way, here the shares also should be serially numbered. Without serially numbering, the shares can't be issued. As of today, it is nowhere relevant because all the shares are being issued in a demat form. Physical share certificates are too rare, except in case of private company. All the listed companies are always in the what is it? Listed what is it? Stock exchange, electronic demat form only. But some public companies and some private companies are issuing in the share certificate form. And there are two kinds of share capital. The two kinds of share capital are, one is equity share capital, one is preference share capital. Sir, what is equity share capital? What is preference share capital? Both are same shares only. But if there is any share which is having two rights with respect to the other shares, then we call it as preference. If it does not have any rights, then we call it as normal ordinary equity shares. Sir, what are those two rights? The two rights are, one is right to dividend, right to dividend. Then what is the right, Khalid? Correct ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ? Yes, correct. Right to repayment of capital. If any shares which has these two rights, then we call it as preference shares. Sir, what is this right to dividend, right to repayment of capital? See, whenever you want to pay the dividend to shares, I am not telling you don't pay the dividend. But whenever you're paying, consider preference and equity shares. First, give the preference for me. If you give any preference for me, then we call it as with respect to what? With respect to dividend. You want to pay the dividend to equity shareholders? Okay, pay. But before then, pay to me. First preference should be given for me. Then, whenever the company goes for winding up liquidation, then the repayment has to happen. The repayment of capital, outside liability, then debenture holders, everything has to happen. But before payment of equity share capital, repayment of equity share capital, first repay our capital. If these two rights are having with any shareholders, then those shareholders we call it as preference shareholders and preference shares. And if these two rights are not there, then we call it as ordinary equity shares. And when I say preference shares and equity shares, they are subdivided. We defined what is equity and preference shares. Equity share can be equity share can be with UVR or DVR. Equity shares can be of uniform voting rights, or equity shares can be of differential voting right. Sir, what is differential and what is uniform voting right? See, whenever we invest in company, we generally invest for the purpose of three reasons. Mainly for three reasons. First reason, anyway not accounted, that is we call it as capital appreciation. I bought one share at 50 rupees, now the share is at 55 rupees. That means my capital has been appreciated by 5 rupees. I am not talking about that part. Other than that, they have still two rights. Two reasons why I invest. One is to get the dividend of the company. I invest in the shares. Second one, to take the decisions in the company. What has the company should do? This decision we call it as voting power. Voting power. How do we take the decision? By voting in the meetings, we take the decision. So any shares will be having two rights. One is dividend right, second one is voting power. If whatever the number of shares, consider you are holding one share, he is also holding one share, he is also holding one share, I am also holding one share. Four people are having four shares. When the company declares the dividend, if it pays 10% dividend for all the people, along with that, if it says one share, one vote, for you also one vote, for you also one vote, you one vote, again one vote. That means uniform voting rights. Everybody is having same voting. I'm not telling, see, you may have 100 shares, I may have 2 shares. I may have 2 votes, you may have 100 votes. That is not called as differential voting rights. I'm telling for every share, how much is the voting right you have. It is the same one share, one vote. I am also same one share, one vote. That means all the shares are having uniform voting right. Those type of shares where dividend is also same for every share. I'm not talking about shareholder or share capital. For every share, if it is one share, it gets 10% dividend, one vote. 10% dividend, one vote. 10% dividend, one vote. All the shares are having same rights, same dividend. Then we call it as equity shares with uniform voting rights. But sometimes what people do is people who are having money or who want more control rather than dividend. They are not bothered about the dividend. I don't want your dividend. Give me some extra voting rights. Or some people say, I'm not bothered about your voting right. You keep it with you. Give me some extra dividend. For example, if you are having one share for Bhumika, for Viraj, for one share, you will be having 10% dividend, 10% dividend, and I will be having only 5% dividend. That means I am sacrificing some 5% dividend. Your same share you are getting extra dividend, for the same share I am getting less dividend. But when it comes to the voting power, you will have one vote, I will have two votes. That means same share is having differential voting rates. That type of shares are called as DBR shares, differential voting rates. For that, there are so many other conditions. Company can issue the differential voting rates. You will learn it in the intermediate. Section 53, 54 are there. 51, 52, 53, 54. So can the company issue? Yes, company can issue the differential voting rates shares. When the number of shares are not having the same dividend and same voting power, then we got DVR. Same things, then UVR, uniform voting rights. In India, as of now, I think only 6 companies have issued DVRs. Only 6 companies. So this is what we call it as equity share with voting rights. See, for they just call it as voting right. That means they're talking about UVR. Then second one, with a differential voting rights as to dividend voting or otherwise in accordance with the prescribed rules. Both the things are permissible. Then comes preferential capital. Preferential capital means, uh, see, generally dividend for the preferential capital is always fixed. Dividend will not be variable. Equity shares, if the profit is more, they get more dividend. If the profit is less, they get the less dividend. But preference shares, irrespective of the profit, they have to get the same amount of dividend. That is what we got as 10% cumulative preference shares, 15% preference shares. The percentage of dividend is fixed for them. But whether it is paid on an annual or not, it doesn't matter. If it is cumulative preference shares, then dividend keeps on accumulating. If it is non-cumulative preference shares, dividend will not be accumulating. But the dividend rate is fixed for preference shares. The dividend rate is not variable. But with respect to the equity shares, it depended by the company. So, what when it is preferential capital, one with respect to the payment of dividend, second one is repayment of capital in case of winding up. If these two are given to a share, then we call it as preference share capital. Understood? This is what with respect to the capital part, entire capital. Capital, share capital. Share capitals are of 5 types, and share means it is the share in the share capital of a company, and shares are 2 types. One is equity shares, second one is preference shares. Equity shares can be with UER, second one is DVR. Preference shares also there are different types. Cumulative preference share, non-cumulative preference share, convertible, non-convertible, redeemable, non-redeemable. Then one more type is there. Which one? No. What is that? Preference shares, cumulative, non-cumulative, redeemable, non-redeemable, convertible, non-convertible,
transferable.
ಇಲ್ಲ is not given actually. ಅಲ್ಲ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಇತ್ತು ಗೊತ್ತೈತಿ, ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? Participating and non-participating preferences.
ಸರ್ irredeemable preference use ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೊಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಐತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Irredeemable preferences can never be issued. Maximum time is 20 years, but for some companies it is 30 years. You have it in intermediate, you learn it. Okay, accounts ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. The next concept is MOA, Memorandum of Association. What is MOA? MOA and AOA. There are two concepts. One is MOA, second one is AOA. MOA and AOA are the charters of the companies. CHARTR, charter. Charter means it is the ultimate document, supreme document, which prescribes what a company can do, which also prescribes what a company cannot do. It always says, as a company, whenever you are registering, you should decide why you are coming into existence. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಯ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಏನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಕಂಪನಿ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೈತೆ. ನಮ್ದಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ, ನೀನೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಹಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ, ನಿನ್ನ ಜೀವನದ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಯ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಖಾಲಿ ಕುಂತವರೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ಡ್ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್. Can it change? Yes, it can change by amending the MOA and AOA. That is secondary matter. I am not talking. But whenever the company is establishing, whenever the company is going for incorporation or registration, then it is a duty to a company, because incorporation we have to file Spice Plus form in INC 32. Along with Spice Plus, we have to file what? MOA, AOA, other details, everything. MOA, AOA should be compulsory. So they are the ultimate documents which decides the rights and liability, rights and obligations of the company. What company can do, what company cannot do. What others can exercise over the company, what company can exercise over the others. Others means outsiders also, maybe directors also, maybe shareholders also, everybody. This is what we call as MOA, AOA. ಯಾಕೋ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ವಾಯ್ಸಾ?
ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ನಿನ್ನ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದ, ನಿನ್ನೆ ನೀನು ಬೈಕೊಂಡಿಯಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬೈಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ.
ನೆನ್ಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ ನಾನೆಲ್ಲ, ನಿನ್ ನೆನ್ಸ್ಕೊತಿರ್ತಾನ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಡ್ಡಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಮಳೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ಮಂಡೆಯಿಂದ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ 5 hours ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಲ್ಲಿ 10-15 minutes ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂಡ್ ನಿನ್ನೆ ತಣ್ಣೀರು ಕುಡಿದಿದ್ದೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, ನಾನು ಆ ತಣ್ಣೀರು ಕುಡಿಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ನನಗೇನು ಮೂವಿ ದಟ್ AC ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, 2ನೇ ಸಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ದು, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್. Now my like what is that bucket list is this ನರಸಿಂಹ, ಮಹಾವತಾರ ನರಸಿಂಹ. ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಅನಿಮೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, ಹೌ ದೇ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಡ್ ಇಟ್, ಹೌ ದೇ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಟ್ರೈಲರ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಇದೆ, ಫುಲ್ ನೋಡ್ದ ನೀನು? ಮಹಾವೀರ ನರಸಿಂಹ ಎಕ್ಕ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇತ್ತ. So memorandum of association, MOA and AOA, articles of association and memorandum of association. MOA should always consist of 6 clauses. MOA should always consist of 6 clauses. So those 6 clauses are common for every company, but only for OPC, 1% company, there will be one more additional clause, that is nomination clause. Because for every company nominee is not required, but in case of 1% company, what if something happens to the member, somebody should take over the business, that is what we call as nominee clause also should be there in MOA. Under OPC 7 clauses will be there, under some other all the other companies it is only 6 clauses. Sir, what are those 6 clauses? 6 clauses are the name clause. The first one is The name clause. Then
registered office.
registered office clause. Then
Liability clause.
liability clause.
Object class.
Object clause.
Capital class.
Capital clause.
Association class.
Association clause. What is this name clause? The name clause does not prescribe what name you have to keep for the company. It depends on your thing, your choice, but the name of the company should end with the type of nature of the company. If you are the company who is having the nature of private limited, then your name of the company should end with private limited. If your company's nature is public limited, then the name of the company should end with limited. OPC, private limited OPC. Section 8 company, Chamber of Commerce, Association, Club, all those things it has to end. Name clause says whenever you see the name, any company's name, MOA, AOA, then you will see that limited, private limited. That by that you have to decide whether it is a public company or private company. That is the name clause. We will see one MOA later once we discuss this.
So if the company has unlimited liability towards shares, still it will be limited.
Yeah, it is limited. Limited is used for public company, not to prescribe it is a limited by shares or not limited by shares. If it is public company, whether it is limited by shares, unlimited guarantee, doesn't matter, it is limited only. Then registered office. The registered office clause should contain only the state in which it is registered, not like second floor, third cross, fifth main, eighth, what is this, eighth Bendilla, what is it? And Rajajinagar, Basanagudi, all these details are not required. It's just the state name of the state. Registered in Karnataka, give the name of the state as Karnataka. Then liability clause. Liability clause says what is the liability of the members. Now here point comes. If the company is limited by shares, the members' liability is limited to what extent? That is given here. The company limited by guarantee, then how much is the liability? That is given here. What is the liability of the members towards the company? That is given here. Liability clause does not mean that liability of a company. Liability clause contains the liability of the members towards the company. Depends on those three types of company: limited by shares, guarantee, and unlimited company. Then comes object clause. Object clause contains two things. One is the main object, second one is ancillary object or incidental objects. What is this main object? It is the main purpose for which the company has been established. For example, Infosys is established for what? Information technology, software development, and rendering of services. But for the purpose of that, it needs so many other activity also. It needs to buy the building, it needs to buy the computers also. See, developing software is other thing, but for the purpose of developing a software, what are the things which are required as an ancillary? What are the things which are required for supporting things? All those subjects are also called as contained in this one. Generally, the main object will be some 2 to 3 or maybe 4, max to max 4 objects will be there, and remaining will be ancillary objective. For example, Infosys want to borrow the money. That borrowing of the money also it has to be written in ancillary clause only, because without money, how can you develop the software? Again chair, again computer, again CCTV cameras. There are so many other objectives also, which has to be written here. Object clause. Then comes capital clause. What does this capital clause contains? This capital clause mainly contains that authorized capital of the company. This is the maximum capital which a company can raise. That is written here in the MOA. If you want to amend it, yes, you can amend it and you can increase it. Capital clause. Along with authorized capital, it also contains issued and subscribed capital, which contains the number of shares, the face value, paid up value, and the total share capital. That bifurcation is there in this MOA, capital clause. Out of which the total shares, how many shares are purchased by how many people? For example, private company, we need 2 members, public 3 members minimum. So consider ABC are there for public company. A purchased how many shares, B purchased how many shares, C purchased how many shares, what is the face value? Is it signed by him or not? That is what has to be written in association clause. Association of persons who are coming together for the purpose of forming a company, MOA. And nomination clause in case of OPC, name of the nominee, and whether he is a normal, Indian citizen, natural person, all those things also should be written there in case of nominee clause. Understood? 6 clauses. We will see one MOA. We will not read it entirely, but we will just have a look into it. See, this is one certificate of incorporation issued by the ROC. For which company it is, I don't know. ITC Hotels. It is an ITC Hotels. So I certify that ITC Hotels incorporated on 28th day of July 2023, because it is earlier ITC hotels and ITC tobacco, every company is the same. Now they splitted that because tobacco business is always a riskier business. They don't want to merge that with other business, so they shifted and this name it as 2020. They have SIN number, corporate identity number, and PAN also it has, and TAN also for the purpose of tax deduction. And it is signed by ROC people. That's okay. Memorandum of Association of ITC Hotels Limited. If you see here, it is a company limited by shares. They specifically mentioned it. The name of the company should is ITC Hotels, I know, but it is ending with limited. That means public company. Then ROA is in state of West Bengal. It is in the West Bengal. Sleeper book ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಲೀಪರ್ ವೇಟ್ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು 11 ಗಂಟೆ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಾಲ. AC ಇದ್ರೆ 10 ಗಂಟೆ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So if you see here, one is the name clause, second one is the RO class, registered office class. This class is also called as situation class, registered office, where the company is situated, which state. That is, it is there here, situation class. Then object class. If you see here, 1, 2, there are two main objects, 3A. They give all kinds of resorts, all those things. This is hotels limited. And the lodging, housekeeping, every kind of sort of convenience, amenities, facilities, adjacent there, etc. Whether it is in India or outside India. And again, matters which are further of the object specified. That is we call it as incidental or ancillary. There are so many ancillary objectives, maybe around some 50 or 50. Some 28 objects are there, ancillary. And comes to liability class. Liability of the members is limited to the amount unpaid, if any, and the shares held by them. Then authorized capital is this many number of shares, rupees. These many shares multiplied by 1 rupee. And association class, several persons whose names, address, everything is there. ITC limited. One company is a member of other company, and the person who is in charge is that Rajendra Kumar Singhi. Then Dharmaraj Ashok. Then one more person and 4 person. Because for public company we need 3 people. They are totally 7 people. The total number of shares taken are, this is equity share, it is signed and it is dated on this date. This is what association clause, and it is signed on behalf of this, I think, company secretary, yes, practicing company secretary Mohan Ram Goenka. Membership number is 4515. Signature and date. That is called as MOA, Memorandum of Association. Then comes AOA, Articles of Association. In MOA, we discussed name all those 6 things. But company will do some other things also. For example, it will borrow the money, it will appoint the director, it will appoint the auditor, it will give the dividend, it will buy one more office, it will have so many things where it has to be mentioned. Anything which is required for the purpose of running the business but not required to be mentioned in MOA, all those things comes and sits under AOA. AOA is like a residual category. Whatever the things which are required for business, that has to be there in AOA. And AOA is like a sub document of MOA. MOA is the ultimate authority, then comes AOA. Generally, first is Companies Act 2013. Below that, companies MOA will come. Below that, AOA will come. Below that, company rules and regulations, whatever the policies they made by the company, that is comes. So AOA is like Articles of Association, which consist of everything which are not there in MOA but required to be conduct of business on a day-to-day basis. So generally, what are the number of clauses which are required to be mentioned in AOA? That is not mentioned. If you want 2 additional business, you can have 2 clauses. If you have 100, you can have 100. If you want 1000, you can have 1000 also. But Companies Act has given 97 model clauses. For the reference, they have given 97 clauses. You can increase that also. You can cut some things and you can add few things. It is up to you. It is about Articles of Association. That's it. Nothing great in the Articles of Association. And this is there. I don't think it is important, but I'll just tell it out. When I say MOA and AOA, can it be directly written in A4 sheet and given it to the ROC? No. It should be in a prescribed format. The formats are given under tables. Whatever the schedule is there, I think schedule, which schedule? Schedule 1, huh? Yes, schedule 1 only. In Companies Act, there are 7 schedules. out of which first schedule specifies what is the format of MOA for different kinds of companies. So what do you mean by different kinds of company? We have mainly five kinds of company. One is company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee without share capital, guarantee with share capital, unlimited company without share capital, unlimited company with share capital. These five class of companies, MOA, I'm talking about MOA, should be there in the table A, B, C, D, E. Limited by shares, guarantee without share capital, guarantee with share capital, unlimited without share capital, unlimited with share capital. A, B, C, D, E, five tables. But when you come to AOA, F, G, H, I, J, but the difference here is limited by shares, guarantee with share capital, guarantee without share capital, unlimited with share capital, unlimited without share capital. Earlier, first without has coming, now with has coming. There is a difference here. I'll check it one more time. This is B for guarantee not having share capital, guarantee having share capital C. Okay, this is MOA is correct. AOA is, I think, not given here. Where?
Forms of articles.
Where?
It's about
Forms of articles. The latest.
about model.
Yes, sir. Third part.
Forms of articles. They are told F, G, H, I, J, but what is what?
As may be applicable.
That applicable limited by shares, guarantee with share capital, guarantee without, unlimited with, unlimited without share capital. That is there. That's what I felt. That is the right thing. MCA. F is for limited by shares. Then G, limited by guarantee having share capital, then not having share capital, unlimited share capital, unlimited not having share capital. Yes, that is right only. For MOA, first without share capital comes, then with share capital comes. For AOA, with share capital, then without share capital comes. That is the main difference. This is about, what is this? MOA and AOA, that's it. Now, can somebody act in excess of the authority given by MOA? For example, MOA told the company should do only those activities with respect to the hotels business, ITC hotels. But the ITC hotels went and started one construction company. Can it do it? Construction activity? No, it can't do it because it has what? Acting beyond the powers of the MOA. That beyond the power is called as ultra virus. Ultra virus means ultra means beyond, virus means power. If anybody who is acting beyond the powers, see, it is not only the company, it is sometimes even the members also. Who are the not members? The board of directors. Generally, board of directors will be vested with certain rights and obligations. One board of directors for purchase, one for sales, one for finance. In case of finance, also again some classification will be there. Consider there is one director who is having the authority to borrow the money to the extent of 10 crore rupees. That means if any money borrowed for the purpose of company up to 10 crore rupees, then for all the 10 crore rupees, company is held liable because company only has authorized that. But if the same director borrows more than 10 crore rupees, that means he is acting beyond the powers given to him. That beyond the powers given to him is called as technically the doctrine of ultra virus. Somebody acting beyond the powers. When somebody acting beyond the powers, consider he has borrowed 15 crore rupees instead of 10 CR. Now till 10 CR he has anyway has the power to borrow. Up to 10 CR company held liable. For the remaining 5 CR he is personally held liable for the other banking firms. Bank cannot come to the company and sue for 15 CR. Bank can come to the company and sue for how much? 10 CR because company has authorized only 10 crore rupees. That is what doctrine of ultra virus. Doctrine of ultra virus is simply says that nobody is allowed to act beyond the powers given to or vested to him. That's it. Doctrine of ultra virus. There is one case study, Royal British Bank versus Richie, something is that. You can see that if not, that is not required. Emergency, it is allowed. Emergency, in emergency is always exception for anything in the world. Again, that should be in a good faith for the purpose of protection of the company or firm from the losses. That should be proved. If that is proved, then you can claim that money.
So if the bank didn't know that his authority was only to 10 CR.
Then it is the duty of the bank to know the MOA and AOA. Because MOA, AOA, I can also get it by your Google. So whenever it is trying to enter the thing with the contract with the company, it is the duty of the company. Okay, that is what I'm going to discuss now. That is first one is doctrine of ultra vires. Second and third things are there. There are two are connected things. One is doctrine of constructive notice, then doctrine of indoor management. These questions are repetitive. Indoor management is very repetitive in the examination.
ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು
What is doctrine? Doctrine means lady doctor. Doctor means
ವೆಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್.
doctrine is a well-established principle. Consider, I say the office should start at 10 o'clock. Is it a principle of my office? Yes. Is it a doctrine? No. If everybody adopt the same thing in the India, in the whole world, something like that, majority, then it is a doctrine. It is a well-established principle. It is not actually came by way of law because it is followed by everybody. We call it as doctrine. Doctrine of constructive notice, doctrine of indoor management. What does this doctrine of constructive notice says? Doctrine of constructive notice says whenever somebody trying to enter into any contract with the company, any transaction with the company, it is the duty of the outsider to know what is the object of the company. Because as per section 399, MOA and AOA are the public documents, either by paying some nominal money in case of private company. Because private company MOA, AOA, I can't get it by of Google. You can go to the ROC because they have registered with ROC. You can, by paying some money, you can get it from MCA portal, ROC, or by free also you can get it. As per section 399, MOA and AOA are the public documents which are available at free of cost or by paying some nominal fees. Any person who is trying to enter into the contract with the company should have the knowledge of MOA and AOA. If you enter into any contract without the knowledge of MOA and AOA, what is the knowledge of MOA and AOA? You don't know what is the purpose of the company, and you entered into some other type of transaction. In that case, company, what is that? Not company, Companies Act or court will not protect the outsider, will protect the company, because it is your duty to know why the company has been established, because you can easily could have known that because they are public documents. So that is what section 399 says. Some of them, doubt? So, sir, even I didn't read MOA and AOA. I don't care. I assume that you already have the knowledge of MOA and AOA. That is what Companies Act is telling. You should have the knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, we presume that you already have the knowledge of that thing. Presumption. So we understood, yes, that is what we call it as doctrine of constructive notice. Doctrine of constructive notice will protect the company against the outsiders. Company is being protected against the outsider. Later, but company should not misuse that thing, because MOA, AOA anyway is a public document available. But what are the internal rules and regulations which are formed by the company? Consider the same example I am giving now, that borrowing power. Borrowing power has given in AOA that what is that? Director X can borrow up to 10 crore rupees. Later, they remove the power by way of one resolution passed in the company. How do the bank will come to know whether the power is there with the director or not? They are the internal documents of the company, rules and regulations, notices, circulars, guidelines. If something with respect to these things are happening with respect to the internal matter, then Companies Act or law will not protect the company but will protect the outsiders, because it is the duty of the outsider to know MO and AOA, but it is not the duty of the outsider to know what are the internal rules and regulations. Who is the manager, who is not the manager, who is the director, who is the carpenter, who is the sweeper? How does they come to know? That is why companies should ensure that everybody should have the proper authority and act according to their authority. That authority, what is that? Protecting the outsider against the company is called as doctrine of indoor management. Constructive notice is like protection of company against the outsiders. Indoor management is an exceptions to constructive notice. That's what it says. We will protect outsiders against the company. That is what doctrine of indoor management. But There are certain exceptions for doctrine of indoor management also. DIM, DIM, DIM. So what is the exception of DIM? Can I say exception of DIM like doctrine of constructive notice only? What is constructive notice is telling? Company protected against outsiders. DIM is telling outsiders are protected against the company. When I say exception of the DIM, again company, sorry, outsiders are not protected. Company is again being protected. What is company is being protected? Can I say DC and doctrine of constructive notice again? Exception of DIM I am talking about. What is exception of DIM? If I have the knowledge of irregularity or some suspicion is there, or it is happened because of the fraud. Under these three cases, for example, I'll give an example, local example. You people, 10 people have come to admission to the academy. You came on a Sunday. Sunday, as it is a holiday, you know Chikana was sweeping the floor, and as you came, he kept that broom aside and came and sat on the cashier counter. And you paid, consider 30,000 rupees fees, consider 10 people, 3 lakh rupees fees you paid, and you took the receipt and went. And Chicken also left the country or left the state by taking 3 lakh rupees. Because how does it matter? Tomorrow you came with the father class, then you said, see, we have the receipt, we paid the fees. Where is the fees? Chicken already gayab. Where is he? Don't know. That means, is it mandatory to know that who is the cashier, who is not the cashier for the outsider? It is a duty of the company to make sure that right person is there in the right position. If somebody is not, somebody is trying to misuse that position, it is the internal control is weak in that company. It is a duty of the company, not the outsiders. But I agree that is there. But whenever you came into the company, in the office, somebody is sweeping the floor and is again coming and sitting on the finance, what is that, cash counter. Can't you exercise your common sense? How can a sweeper can be the finance, what is that, cashier? If there is some suspicion, some knowledge of irregularity, then we will not protect the outsiders. We will protect the company again. You should exercise minimum common sense. Then the third case is forgery. If any instrument issued by the company by forging by any other party, then we will protect the company only because it is happened without the knowledge of the company. This is called as DIN.
public holiday.
Hmm.
Then we have worker and
No, it is a duty. Then as a company, you close the company. Why you kept it open? Understood? Doctrine of ultravirus, constructive notice, and indoor management. We discussed entire concept. You just go through the content once, you will understand it. ಯಾವುದು? If the AOI is altered by way of just the internal rules and regulations by passing one resolution, board resolution, something like that, then it is under doctrine of indoor management. If not, AOI is there but is acting beyond the powers of AOI, then it is doctrine of constructive notice. Understood? Entire thing about the Companies Act 2013. You can go through the Companies Act later. Articles of Association, MOA, everything is done. Please have a look into it, Companies Act. If you have any doubt, let me know.
Macro next week ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ನಾವು ಬರಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕಂಪನಿ ಸಾಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ವಿಧಾನ ಪೂಜೆ ಹಿಂಗಿರೋ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಇಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಕೂತಾರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೇ
We will finish off this LLP because LLP is nothing but Partnership and Companies Act. I'll not discuss entire thing. Wherever it is bit different, then I'll discuss. If not, I'll just see. You should be remembering that Partnership and Companies Act. Yesterday we discussed Partnership. Today we're discussing Companies Act. I'll try to connect that both act. That's it. I'll not discuss anything extra. It is very small chapter. How many pages is there? Some 7-8 pages. Around half an hour. Companies Act illa idu macroeconomics. Around 40 hours.
ನಮಗೆ 23 hours 23 hours
Macroeconomics. Right.
ವಿಚಾರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್
ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. 20
ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ 23 hours
ಇರಬೇಕು.
ಸರಿ
Not less than 40. I still remember. ನಾನು 40 ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗಳ ಆಡ್ತೀನಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾನು 40 ಕೆಳಗಡೆ hours ಕೊಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ನಾನು 23 hours 50% ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ 50% ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಎರಡೂ ಮುಗಿದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀಡೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ.
ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್
1.5 ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ 3 hours. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯೋ ನೀ ಸಮರ್ಥ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
ಬಂದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು ಸರ್ ಬರೀಗ
ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ 2008 ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಅವಾಗಿನ ದಿನ ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬನೇ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕತ್ತಿ. ಆಯ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ನಿಂಗೆ?
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಮಲ್ಕೋಬೇಕು.
See, all these details are not required. I don't want to discuss now this introduction, all those things. You should only remember LLP has totally 81 sections and 4 schedules. These 4 schedules anyway you can easily remember. First schedule says about what are the rights and duties of partners with respect to LLP. And in the absence of agreement only, we are discussing that. If there is an agreement, that agreement will describe the rights and duties. If there is no agreement, then come to schedule 1, first schedule. Then schedule 2, 3, 4 says firm to LLP conversion, private company to LLP conversion, unlisted public company to LLP conversion. How it has to be done, it has been described there. No need to remember also because they'll not ask. What is LLP? LLP is an hybrid form of organization. In case of partnership, it is easy to do the business, but if something goes wrong, the liability is unlimited. That is why people are not coming forward for the purpose of doing the business. But if you start the company, the compliances are very much like we have to appoint one accountant, company secretary for the purpose of doing that. So much of cost, so much of time consuming compliance it is there. So business focus is not possible for small people. That is why government came up with a brilliant idea called as LLP, limited liability partnership. It is partnership only, but they are giving one benefit of the company called as limited liability. If something goes wrong with the LLP, then you don't worry. It is only LLP liable for all those things. You are not liable for those things. But because we are giving that limited liability, we are not making so stringent for the purpose of compliance. We are giving what is that? Fewer compliances as we have in case of partnership. Not exactly partnership, but bit higher with respect to the partnership. Very, very what is that? Manageable things. ಯಾರು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಮಲಗ್ತೇನೆ ನೀನು 2 ಗಂಟೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದು 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲಿ ಏನೋ ಅನ್ನಲ್ಲ ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡು ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಎದ್ದು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಈ ಕೇಳಿ ಈ ತರ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಮಗನ ಮನೇಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ ಕೇಳಿ LLP. So to introduce that, the company government has introduced an act called as LLP Act 2008, so that it is convincing for both the what is that business people also. It is very easy to do the business, and the liability also limited with respect to their business. We call it as LLP is also called it as alternate what is this business vehicle. It is an alternate corporate business vehicle that not only gives the benefit of limited liability at low compliance cost, but allows its partners the flexibility of organizing their internal structure as a traditional partnership. That means somebody can be appointed, removed, resigned, everything can be done easily. But Companies Act, again, you have to call for the general meeting, take the what is that appointment of thing, ordinary resolution, special resolution, members have to approve that. All those things are not there. LLP as a separate legal entity is also there because limited liability means your liability is the other, my liability is the other thing. And business organization is an alternative corporate business form that gives the benefit of LLP as well as partnership, company and partnership. LLP contains the both the corporate structure as well as partnership form structure. It is a hybrid form of organization between company and partnership. There are some definitions. Body corporate. What is body corporate? You should remember 4 things. Any registered entity is called as body corporate as per the Companies Act 2013. Sir, what is registered entity? Is it mandatory to register LLP? Yes, after registration only it is coming into existence. So Indian LLP as well as Indian company are called as body corporate. Along with that, foreign LLP and foreign company are also called as body corporate. Mainly 4 things. Plus, it includes corporation sole. It is like the designation, prime minister. Sorry. Does not include corporation sole, cooperative society, and anything which is specified or notified by official gazette. Only 4 things. One is it means a company as per 220, that is Indian company, and LLP registered under this act, that means Indian LLP. Then LLP outside India, that is foreign LLP. Company incorporated outside India, it is a foreign company. What is foreign company? Company which is incorporated outside India, having a place of business in India, whether by agent or by itself, either by electronic mode or physical mode, something like that. The same is applicable even for foreign LLP also. Foreign LLP is also there, incorporated outside India, having place of business in India, same thing. But just replace the word of company with LLP. Small company was there. What is small company? What is the threshold? What is this criteria? Two criteria are there. One is paid up capital criteria. Second one is turnover criteria. Paid up capital is should be less than 4 crore rupees, not 4 lakh. 4 crore rupees, and turnover should be less than 40 CR as per the latest audited financial statements. Here also small LLP is there, but here capital will not be there. Share capital will not be there in case of LLP. What is there? Contribution by partners will be there. So contribution should be less than 25 lakh and turnover should be less than 40 lakhs. There it is crores and crores, it is lakhs and lakhs, 25 and 40, small LLP. Both the conditions has to be satisfied. So before that, business means it includes everything: trade, profession, service, occupation, except activity which central government by notification exclude. It has not excluded anything. Anything which is by way of service, everything it is included. Designated partner means the partner who is appointed as designated partner is designated partner. Entity means it is a body corporate, includes these sections of forms Indian Partnership Act also. Financial year means period from the first day of the April of the year to 31st day of the March of following year, April to March. I have made one discussion regarding that. If you remember that, if the business started in between, I don't want to do that discussion again. Again, foreign LLP, incorporated or registered outside India, and having place of business within India. What is LLP? LLP means partnership formed and registered under this Act, LLP Act. If it is registered under Companies Act, it is not LLP, it is company. Registered under Income Tax Act, not LLP. Only if it is registered under this Act, then it is LLP. Then we have partnership deed, as we have LLP agreement also here. LLP agreement also compulsory to be registered with ROC. This LLP registration is also done with ROC only, MCA portal. Partner means who becomes a partner in LLP is called as partner as per LLP agreement. Member means the person who has signed MOA, AOA is called as member. The person who has signed partnership, what is this LLP agreement is called as partner. Then small LLP, important. Contribution which does not exceed 25 lakh rupees or such higher amount as may it does not exceed 5 CR. That you ignore that R part, because they can prescribe up to 5 crore rupees. But as of today, they prescribed only 25 lakh rupees. Government has an option to increase that up to 5 CR. So it is less than or equal to 25 lakh contribution. Then turnover as per the statement of account and solvency of the preceding financial year does not exceed 40 lakh rupees. Does not exceed means less than or equal to 40 lakh rupees. If you see, there is one word called as solvency, statement of solvency. What is the statement of solvency? It has to filed by LLP on a yearly basis that yes, we have sufficient cash for the purpose of running the LLP for the upcoming 1 year. We are solvent, we are not insolvent. That statement has to be filed. As per that statement, they should be having a turnover of 40 lakh rupees. Contribution is 25 lakh, less than or equal to 25 lakh, or you can write it as not exceeding 25 lakh rupees. Both are same. Or not exceeding 40 lakh rupees. And some other conditions and requirements not prescribed. That's it, two conditions. 4 CR and 40 CR, 25 lakh and 40 lakh. This Indian Partnership Act is not applicable to LLP because LLP has a separate act called as LLP Act 2008. Why does Partnership Act will be applicable for this? And partner, who is a partner? Any individual or body corporate may be the partner in LLP. But can body corporate be the partner in partnership firm? Think and tell me. No, only individuals are allowed there. However, an individual shall not be capable of becoming partner of LLP. If they are unsound mind or undischarged insolvent are applied as to be an insolvent, but the application is still pending. You should remember this. Partner. What is the eligibility of partner? Can be asked for 3 marks. Any individual or body corporate can become the partner of LLP, and if the individual cannot is not eligible to become the partner if he is unsound mind, as adjudicated by competent court. You should not forget that. Court of competence has to tell that. If just because you say that he is unsound mind, it is not that he is unsound mind. Court has to tell that. Unsound mind and adjudicated by the court. Then undischarged insolvent are applied to be adjudicated as insolvent, but the still application is pending. Then minimum number of partners are, for every LLP should have a minimum number of 2 partners, and one condition is there here. It is there even for company also. As minimum number of partners required is 2, but if one partner died, something has happened, and the number of partners present there in the LLP become less than 2, we call it as less than statutory limit. Statutory limit is 2, minimum number of LLP partners. If any number of at any time the number of partners becoming less than statutory limit prescribed by the act, in that case, and the business continues for a continuous period of 6 months, 6 months, and one remaining partner, one partner has not appointed one more partner as a partner. That means one partner is only there for continuous. Then, for all the acts done after 6 months, the partner will be having unlimited liability. We discussed even in case of company also. In case of partnership also we discussed this. Then, every LLP should have at least 2 designated partner, out of which one should be resident designated partner, RDP, resident designated partner. So what is a designated partner? It is like managing director for the company. It is like the person who is responsible for all the financial, all the decision taking part. So you said at least 2 designated partners. You said the minimum at least have 2 partners. Is it 2 plus 2? LLP should have 2 partners plus 2 designated partners. No, those 2 partners can only be the designated partners. There is no problem in that. At least 2 DPs should be there. Those 2 DP means designated partner. Aren't they partners already? That means both the conditions are satisfied. Generally, whenever LLP is there, 2 will be the designated partner always. 2 designated partners. The same way, out of which one shall be what? Resident in India. Who is resident in India? The person who stayed in India for a period not less than 120 days during the financial year. You have shown one amendment, right? Is it in LLP or where? Company side. Okay. It is the person who stayed in 120 days for the last previous year, then he is eligible to become, he is called as a resident of India. Then out of 2 DPs, one should be resident of India. What is the maximum number of partners in case of LLP? In case of partnership firm? Hey, where are you? Oh, maximum. Minimum is 2, partnership is 50. LLP is? No. Who said? 200. It is 200. What are the characteristics of LLP? I will not read it. LLP is a body corporate because it is a registered entity, it is a body corporate. It is having a perpetual succession because it is.
That given there is no maximum partners.
There is it.
Next page. Minimum and maximum number.
There is no maximum number of partners. Where is for that 200?
It's a small company, sir.
Private company is 200. That is for company separately. Yes, it is unlimited only. No limit. Correct. It is not 200. It is unlimited. Minimum is 2. Where is it? Minimum is 2. And at least one shall be, and no maximum limit on partners. Right. Perpetual succession. It goes on forever because it is a artificial person. It has to be wind up even only by way of law only. Individual winding up is not possible. It is a separate legal entity. It is a mutual agency. What is mutual agency? In case of partnership, one partner is the agent of other partner and is a principal. Here, no, because separate legal entity is there. I am not liable for somebody partner's debt or somebody partner's other liability. That is why mutual agency is like one partner is the principal as well as agent for the LLP, and LLP is again agent or principal for the partner. One partner is not for other partner. One partner is for LLP. Then an LLP agreement should be there, because without LLP agreement, we don't call it as a valid LLP. Then LLP is an artificial legal person because it is a separate existence in the eyes of law. And common seal. It is also not mandatory to have the common seal. But if it is no mandatory, in case of company, one MD plus one director, or one director plus one company secretary. So not MD. Two directors or one director plus one company secretary has to be signed. If you see that share certificate we have seen, in that it has signed by one MD and one director plus along with company secretary. Here, two designated partners has to sign that. See, minimum is 2 DPs. It does not mean that only 2 DPs. Now, LLP can have 10 DPs also. Liability is limited and it is there for the purpose of management of business, not for some charity. LLP can't do the charity activities. LLP should be doing only the business, main part is business. And business should be for profit only. If they happens to be lost, then that's okay. Business ups and downs will be there, but don't do the charity. That is what they meant. You should try to do the business with the purpose of earning the profit. Then investigation. Central government can do the investigation if they feel that something is fraudulent. Compromise or arrangement. What is compromise or arrangement? Somebody sued in the court of law. Can they compromise out of the court settlement? Yes, they can do that because they are also person. Conversion into LLP. Yes. LLP, private also to LLP, unlisted public also to LLP. Schedule 2, 3, and 4. E-filing of documents is mandatory. That has to be filed. But it should be authenticated by the partner or a designated partners of LLP using the DSCs. We call it as digital signature, DSC. No need to sign manually. There will be pen drive kind of thing. Then you can insert it, then you can sign it. Then something called as foreign LLP. What is that foreign LLP? Registered outside India, establish a place of business within India. Understood? Advantage, disadvantage, you go through that. Incorporation also same. But here the difference is, there we will file MOA and AOA. Here we will not file MOA and AOA. We will file LLP agreement. That LLP agreement should consist of what? Name of the firm, name of the partners, again business, location, profit sharing ratio, and what is that? Appointment, removal, resignation, all those things. Whatever there for partnership, all these things should be there. Please go through that. I'm not going to read it. Done.
6 months most asked question ಯಾವುದು
ಒಂದು designated partner question. Hmm?
whatever questions.
One is registration related question, incorporation part. Second one is wind up by the tribunal, winding up the tribunal. Then this one, characteristics of LLP. Generally, three questions. Change of name also sometimes asked. Right. With respect to incorporation only, it is. Sometimes this difference also they'll ask. LLP and company, LLP and partnership, you should be able to write it. Characteristics of partnership, characteristics of LLP, that is same. We will discuss this name part. You just go through that, what is this? Advantages and incorporation. Go through once. Please go through that. We will take a break. Have a look into that incorporation. Advantage, anyway, you can write it. It is like the features only: limited liability, separate legal entity, artificial person. All those things are advantages. Characteristics only advantages. Incorporation, you see it once because incorporation is required to be seen. If you are done, we will discuss that name part. Then we will take a break. In ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಓದಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾನೆ. Incorporation, what are the documents has to be filed again? Here, two declarations has to be filed. One by this CA, CS, CMA, those people, and again by subscriber to incorporation document. And that should contain the name of LLP, proposed business, and where is the office, and all those things have to be there here. Then if somebody makes it all any statement which is known to be false or believe it to be true but not makes it, then up to 10,000 rupees, sorry, 10,000 to 5 lakh rupees, and up to jail 2 years it is there, or both.
ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಬೋದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ
See here the word and is there. And means both should be there. Yeah, go. Word is missing. That's it.
The designer of check ID. Both and
Section 138. Registered office of LLP and change therein. Is it mandatory to have the registered office? Yes. Without office, they can't be. If at the time of registration, if there is no office, then within 30 days, I think. Not given, but within 30 days only, they have to establish one office and communicate to the ROC. What is the effect of registration? Like it will be like separate legal entity. It can be done. It can be sued. It can sue somebody. It can have the property, bank account, all those things. Normal things can be done. Then name comes. Again, the same partnership also we discussed. The name should not be like imperial, the royal, all those things, king, queen, all the things are again same. But the name of the LLP should end with two things. Either of the two things. Either you can write limited liability partnership full, or you can write LLP. Both the things. If you go somewhere, there is one juice shop, Sham Mishra. It is there in many places. You go to Lulu Mall, you go to some other place. That is LLP. Juice shop is LLP. Basham Circle also it is there. Below that Samsung Service Center. Sham Mishra Juice LLP. The name should end with LLP or Limited Liability Partnership. And no LLP shall be registered by the name in which the opinion of the central government is undesirable, identical, or too nearly resemble to that of LLP trademark. That means existing thing, it should not be nearly resembling or identical. And whenever you want to reserve the name, first of all you should make an application in form called as run form. Run form is like reserve unique name. And if you state that what is the name available, if it is available, then they reserve it for some 15 days. Within 15 days you have to complete that registration process. This is important. Change of name of LLP. What is this change of name of LLP? There could be two reasons why the name of the LLP can be changed. One is voluntary change, one is compulsory change. When you have registered an LLP with a name which is already in existence, then central government will order you to change the name. That is we call it as compulsory change. Second one is voluntary. If you want to change the name of LLP, you can change it. So on its first registration or on the registration by a new body corporate, its registered name is registered by a name which is identical with or too nearly resembles to that of any other LLP or trademark, etc. Then an application of such LLP or proprietor of the company, that means that existing company one, should make to the central government. Then central government may direct such LLP to change the name within a period of 3 months from the date of such issue of direction. Then whenever you change that name, right? For example, earlier we have ABC LLP, and existing people came and told ABC LLP you have to change it because I am already having ABC LLP. Then for the next 3 years, when you change the name from ABC to XYZ LLP, for the next 3 years, XYZ LLP, earlier known as ABC LLP, you should be there. This name should be containing for the next 3 years. The registered trademark shall be within a period of 3 years from the date of incorporation or registration. Change the name of LLP. This 3 years, again, this 3 years is also applicable for the other thing. What is that? Already having ABC LLP, I started ABC LLP. The earlier person ABC LLP should make an application to central government within 3 years of my registration. If they makes after 3 years of my registration, it will be like I am also having the right with respect to them. Then it will go to the court. Some fighting will happen. Then, where LLP changes its name or obtains a new name, within a period of 15 days of such change, give a notice to ROC. See, earlier my name in your registrar is ABC. Now please change it to XYZ LLP. That we have to give within 15 days to ROC. Along with that, the order of the central government, who shall carry out the necessary changes of certificate of incorporation within 30 days of such change or incorporation of LLP. That's okay. You should give that thing. And if the LLP defaults in compliance, that means central government order you did not comply, or you wanted to change, you did not change, or you wanted to convey to ROC, you did not communicate to ROC. In that case, then the punishment will be such manner as may be prescribed And the registrar shall enter the new name of the LLP in place of the old name and issue a fresh certificate of incorporation when such LLP shall use the thereafter. And every change of name should be done as per section 16 only. All the provisions should be as per section 16. That's it. Difference, you go through that company and LLP, partnership and LLP.
That's for LLP also.
Yes, incorporation.
Corporation.
Yes, LLP also incorporation number will be there. Because the moment you incorporate, how do we come to know that you are incorporated entity? Because you have a separate number like Aadhaar number, all those things. It is there. We can't get LLP documents because LLP documents are not available public. But I'll check. I think I have one LLP document. This is another.
Section 4 of Indian Contract.
No, I don't have it.
Duties
It will have a number. Or okay, we can open in Google only. Sham Mishra, that juice center only we will open. Order ಮಾಡೋಣ. I think taste will be good. I never tried it. If you look at the name, Sham Mishra Juice Center LLP. ಅಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಏನೋ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವನ್. 300 ಮಂದಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಈಗ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
ಆಯ್ತಾ?
We'll take a break of 15-20 minutes, then we will again meet back. We'll meet back and finish again. What is this? NI Act. Shall we begin? I think we need around 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour to 30 minutes. Not 2, it is 11:30 still. ಇರ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಂದು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತರ ಇದ್ದೆ. How much time is sleep? Minimum. Saturday, Sunday? And 2 people, yeah. How much you sleep on a regular basis daily? 6 to 7 hours. 12 hours? Then? ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 7 hours. 9 to 10. ಜಲಸ್, ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಜಲಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. You sir? Sleep. 8 hours. Standard 8 hours. Time? 11 to 6. It is fixed. 10 to 6, 11 to 6. It is 7 hours. 11 to 6 is 7 hours. 10 to 6, 8 hours. And ನಾವು 10 ಗಂಟೆಗಿನ್ನು 11 ಗಂಟೆಗಿನ್ನು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. ನೀನು ಸಾಕಾ ನಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಕ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓದೋದಿದೆ? ಹೌದಾ? ಅರ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಯಾವತ್ತು? ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 10 to 3. ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ. ಸಮರ್ಥ ಮತ್ತೆ 3 ಗಂಟೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೆ? 3 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಯಾರು ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೋ? ಯಾರು ಇರಲ್ಲ, ನಾಯಿನೂ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ನಾಯಿನೂ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತದ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ. ಓದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಅವಾಗ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ ನಿಂಗ. ಬುಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. 3 o'clock it is. ನಾನು ಲೇಟ್ ನೈಟ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಎದ್ದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ನೈಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನೈಟ್ ದೂರ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು. ಅವ್ರೀಗ ಎಂತ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, ತಂದೆ ಮಗ ಮೀರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಮೀರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ ಪಪ್ಪ 4 ಗಂಟೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ 3 ಗಂಟೆ. ಗ್ರೇಟ್. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಚಲೋ ಅದು 3 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದೇಳೋದಂದ್ರೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಮಲ್ಕೊಳ್ರಕ್ಕ. 9:30 ಒಳಗೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀಯ? ಓಕೆ, ಮನೇಲಿ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೆ ಆಗಿಂದ 7:30. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 8 ಗಂಟೆವರೆಗೂ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅವನು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದ, ಮತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಯಾಕಂತ ಕಾಫಿ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫುಲ್ ವೀಗನ್ನ. ಈ ಕೋಕೋ, ಪಾಪ್ಕಾರ್ನ್, ಪೆಪ್ಸಿ, ಸ್ಮೋಕಿಂಗ್, ಡ್ರಿಂಕಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮೂಗು ಮುಚ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೌದಾ? ನಿಮ್ದು ಏನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ?
ಹೋಲ್ಸೇಲ್ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಇದೆ
ಏನು
ಸರ್.
ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ?
ಅದು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಆಲ್ಕೋಹಾಲ್ ಲಿಕ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ
ಸಿಗರೇಟ್
ಓಕೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ?
ಸರ್ ಸಮರ್ಥ ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಕಾಸು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪ.
ಅವನು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಅದು ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಅದು.
ಏನೋ ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ
ಮಿಂಟಾ? ನೀ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಾಸು ಮಲ್ಕೋತೀವಿ?
ಒಂದು ಚಿಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾನೆ ಸರ್.
ಜಿಮ್ ಡೈಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀಯಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ತಾಸು? 1 hour? 1.5 hour. PT ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಮೋರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್, 7 hours 8 hours.
ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು
ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್, ನೀವು ಬಾಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಬಾಳು ನನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸದು ಆ ಥರ ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ CA ಇಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾ ಭಾಳ ಕಡೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಟಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಭಾಳ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ. ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಥಾಟ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ.
ಸರ್ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಆಫೀಸ್ನಿಂದ ಏನು?
ಆಫೀಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಮನೆನೇ ಆಫೀಸ್.
CA Veeraj
ವಿರಾಜ್ P&Co.
ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ?
ಯಾಕೆ? ಯಾವ್ದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಇದಾರ? ಬರ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಾವು LLP ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. LLP ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ನಂಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿಬ್ರು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಈಗ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತೇಳಿ. LLP ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಈಗ. ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್. ಒಬ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸಿಂಗಾಪುರ್. Professional ethics. I can't violate anything. Personal, professional misconduct. See, if I disclose any information without the consent of my client, I will be held guilty under CA Act 1949. ನಾ ಮನೇಲೂ ಮಾತಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಏನೈತೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಏನು ಕೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗೈತೆ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಬೇಕಾ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೇಳಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಾದ್ರು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಟರ್ನ್ ಓವರ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ತಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಮದುವೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಓಕೆ, ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲ ನಂದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕಂಪನಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅದು ಲಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಪನಿ ಬಟ್ ಅನ್ಲಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿನೇ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ $125 million ಇದೆ.
ಯಾವ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸರ್? ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್? ನೀವು ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೇ
ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೌತ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಮೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದವ್ರೆ. ದೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ದೇರ್.
ಅದಾದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು CA ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ?
ಮೊದಲೇ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ,
ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಈ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಈ ತರ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಮುಂದೆನೂ ಸಣ್ಣ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, 2x4 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೋರ್ಡ್, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಕಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ವಿಸಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಬೈ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೌತ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಇದರಿಂದಲೇ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಒಂದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ವರೆಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಕೋವಿಡ್. ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಈ KGF ಬಾಬು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿಂದ 1 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮಾಡೋರ್ಗು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ. 1 ಕೋಟಿಯಿಂದ 10 ಕೋಟಿ ಮಾಡೋದೇನು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ. ಸೊ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಈಗೇನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಫೈಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇದೆ. GSTನೂ ಇದೆ, GST ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. We will begin. Can I act? If you have anything to ask, you can ask still, because anyway we will complete that by early only. We can spend some 15-20 minutes on some other topics. If you have anything to ask, you can ask regarding the profession.
ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್.
ಇದೊಂಥರ ನೀನ್ 4 ಮಂದಿ ಹುಡುಗಿರಿ ಕಾಳಾಗ ಒಂದು ಹುಡುಗಿ ಹೆಸರು ಅದು ಒಂದು ಹುಡುಗಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಆದಂಗೆ. ಇನ್ನು 3 ವರ್ಷ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಯಾಕೋ ಏನು ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. 1 ನಿಮಿಷ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 60 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
5 ನಿಮಿಷ.
ಎಸ್, ಎರಡು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೋ, 2 ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂದ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಾಲಿಟಿ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್. ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಈಗ 3 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸೇರಿ 150+ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರೀ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ಓದೋ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಟ್. ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾರಿ ಅದು ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಎನಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 60, ದೆನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಬರೆಯೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ 3 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದ 3 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿದ 2 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ 5 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. 2 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ
ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 160 ಬಂತು, ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 140 ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟು 40+ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಅಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ 40+, ದೆನ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ 300+ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
ಅದು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ.
ಹೌದು, ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರುವಾಗೆ. ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ? It is, or I say the see, when somebody puts so much of effort, I say also recognizes them by giving set of option. ನೀ ಅವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರಿತೀನಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರಿತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಬರಿತೀನಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಬರಿತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ? It is not good. And be careful. ICA is planning to like cut down foundation students like anything. Filter out. Paper will be so much difficult. Paper difficult idrunu valuation difficult ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Paper easy idrunu valuation difficult ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Any filter they want to do it on the first level only. Don't enter. We don't want result as what? Jollu. That means anything which does not have power inside. Immediately ಮುರಿತಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಜೋಳ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಟೊಳ್ಳು ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅಂಥವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ತೆಗೆದಾಕ್ಬೇಕಂತೇಳಿ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ICI could have earlier the results are good. Now if you check ಫೈನಲ್ ಏನ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಮೊದಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಏನ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಮೊದಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಹಳ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈವನ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಕಂಪನಿ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ದ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ 5% ಅರೌಂಡ್. CA ದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 12-13% ಇದೆ. ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 30% ವರೆಗೂ ಇತ್ತು. ನಾವು ಇಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಡೌನ್ ಟು 18-20.
ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರೀತಾರೆ ಪರ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್?
2 lakhs ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್
ಬರೀ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್
ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ 2 ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬರೀತಾರಾ ಆವರೇಜ್?
ಯಾವರೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 lakh ಬರೀತಾರೆ ಒಂದು ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಗೆ. We can see ICA annual report only. It is available. ICA also has to prepare annual report. First is the Hindi version. See, even in practice also, if you have the honesty and integrity, then you can definitely grow at maybe some constant level, but you will definitely grow. But if you try to do some malpractices, definitely department is not going to leave you, because few of my friends are practicing. One of my friend was not a CA. He did intermediate along with me, but he did not clear. So he left and started doing some, what's that? Do number danda. Like in GST we call it as you know that ITC concept, income input tax credit. But I consider I am a manufacturer, you are a wholesale trader, he is a retail trader. It is happening now. Whenever I manufacture, whenever she buys with me, she will pay 10,000 rupees. Consider 18% tax she will pay. Consider 180 rupees is the tax. Later, is she consuming the goods? No, she is further supplying. Then whatever the tax she has paid, I will pay to government on behalf of her. Now, whenever she is selling to the other party, then other party has to pay price plus profit on the total amount tax. Consider she sold it on 1,200. 200 rupees is a tax. So 1,200 multiplied by 18% again comes. So totally how much? 1,200 into 18%. 18 percentage. 216. Earlier how much you paid? 180 to me, so that I paid on behalf of you. So you have to pay 36 rupees to the government. That's it. That means whatever the 180 you paid, you can keep it in your pocket from collecting them. Then whenever he sells, consider 1,400 is sold. That 200 rupees additional value addition, on that only tax he has to pay, because whatever the tax he paid to you, he'll collect it from the consumer, then keep it, remaining tax he'll pay. That you kept that 180, he kept that 216, everything is called as input tax credit. Whatever you are buying, we call it as input. Whatever you are selling, we call it as output. Any tax paid on buying is called as input tax. You can take that as a credit in a further supply. So it is like whenever I sell it to some, consider Bhumika, if she is registered, it is applicable only for registered suppliers. Then she can further supply and take the ITC. What did my friend done is we call it as what is that, GST billing, not GST billing. He said something billing related only. I just raise a bill on her. I'll never send the goods. I'll never give the services, because she has so much of output tax payable. Why should she's thinking that why should I pay so much amount of money to the government? That is why she came to one consider intermediary. Say, I want this much amount of tax. I don't know how do you get it. You will get 5% commission. So I'll raise one invoice. Consider you needed 1 lakh rupees of tax. Not 1 lakh, consider 18,000 tax. I have to raise 1 lakh rupees of invoice. So that 18,000 tax is credited to you. For that, I'll get some 5% commission. That means 18% is sold for 5%. So that intermediary will get at least 1% from that side, 1% from this side. That's what it is happening. But here the catch is not that. Whenever I am having that, what is this? Consider education service only. I should give the bill. To education related service sectors only. Consider maybe book printing, maybe online pen drive or software maintenance, that thing. But if I give one invoice to the contractor, construction contractor, then it is totally wrong. That means system will immediately catch it out. What service as an education, CA institute, coaching center, what is the service you are doing for the construction service? So it did those type of things. That's why the contractor already got the notice. You know what is the value of supply? 7 crore rupees. Whenever the department comes to know 200% of tax, 200% of interest and penalty, and some, what's that, imprisonment, those things will be there, criminal, all those things. So honesty always pays off. Yes, whenever we file a GST, we might get some 5,000 rupees for GST filing. That's okay. But if you do this, you will get around 50,000, 1 lakh rupees at a single search. Consider 7 crore rupees multiplied by 18%. 7 into 18%. 1.26 crore rupees multiplied by, he is getting 1%. Multiplied by 1 crore rupees. He got 1,26,000. He did not do anything. He called me, he called her. Okay, you get the bill. That's it. Goods are also not more. 1,26,000. Yes, it is an attractive money, but don't do this. Integrity and honesty always pays. As well as try to keep your employees happy. If you are practicing, if you are in employment, it doesn't matter. If you are in the practice, try to keep your employees happy. If somebody is paying 20,000 for the same level of work in some other organization, try to pay 22,000. Before they ask the hike, try to increase the salary. Maybe 1,000, 2,000 does not make so much of difference for you, but it makes so much of difference in them. It builds some sense of like, yes, in num for me now ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. Even though some other persons offers consider 25 also, they'll think twice, because no, like with respect to work they have to do anything, but no personal pressure. He is always takes care of us, and all those things are like, they should feel like he is a part of family. He's a part of the person who really wanted to be with you. Hear that this thing, always a comparison between the employees of Tata, employees of Reliance, employees of Tata and employees of Reliance. Reliance employees are not satisfied at all, but the Tata employees are always satisfied. That whenever you are the employee of Tata, the employees of Tata will try to think whether should we leave or not, because it takes care of them so much. Even Infosys also. Now, from last few days, it is few years, it is not there, but earlier it was there. Tata Reliance is like, if you are worthy enough, you work here. If not, please get out. And the payment also okay, and the treatment is like worst. Except you are in the top position or top 20-30% of the category, the treatment is not as expected. But Tata TCS, Tata Steel, Tata, all those things are bit okay. That sense of mindset that Tata has already developed, and people also having that patriotism. Tata means country. Country means Tata. Whenever even you look at the advertisement of Tata, he say whenever he launches salt, Desh ka namak. He never say it is their profitability. Desh ka namak, Desh ka gadi. And that one advertisement they took in case of what is that, a car. Army person was walking on a road. One person having the interview. The person was driving the car. Then he picks him up, car or bike, I don't know exactly. Huh? He goes and drops him. ಓಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಅವ್ನು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಮಿ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಗೆ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವ್ನು ಬಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ನಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಶದ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಟಾಟಾ ವರ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಟಾಟಾ ಕಾರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಕತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್, indirect advertisement. They developed such type of things. So always take care of your employees, and whenever you take care of the entire surroundings, definitely will grow. It is not like you want to grow, but your employees only not allowing you to grow. Then you will definitely will not grow. Employees are like my girl brother, ನಾ ಯಾಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿ, 6 o'clock ಆಗ ತಡ ಎದ್ದೋಗೋದು. ನೋ, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಓಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಬೆಳೆದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇ ಬೆಳಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬಿ.
For articles is good for
Mid-size firm or small firm. Big Four is never good. If you want to go for employment, you can go for Big Four. And Big Four is harassment. If you are okay for that harassment, you can go. And they will not teach you anything.
So if you go to the small firm, then there are minimum
Okay, you will be what is that, knowing everything. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ದ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್, ನಾಟ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ಕೊತ್ತಂಬರಿ ತಗೊಂಬ, ಚಾ ತಗೊಂಬ, ಕಾಫಿ ತಗೊಂಬ ಅಲ್ಲ. If you go to some consider Big Four or something, GST you choose. Under GST there are so many things: litigation, refund, registration. ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಬಾವಿ ಒಳಗಿನ ಕಪ್ಪೆ ಆರಂಗ. So whenever you start your practice, it is definitely not useful at all. You are very good at one thing, specialized. But for the purpose of firm, if you open your office, one client comes by of income tax, one client come for TDS, client come for GST, one client come for example, PT payment, one client come for TDS things. Then how do you manage that? Specialization definitely required, but you should be having the overview of the entire thing, how the office will be run. If you are going for employment, go for specialization only. Go for Big Four or Big 10. It will be what is that? Good. See, this is the number of students who are appeared. Foundation, June 2023 exam, 1,03,517. Passed is 25,000. 20, around 23-24% result. In May or June 23, appeared are 1,07,811 intermediate. Then final also there. Intermediate, foundation, and around 2 lakh students will be writing the examination. Around 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh. Yeah. You know how many CS are there in India? 5 lakh. 5 lakh plus ಇದೆ. My membership number is 283199. CA. 283199. That means 2,83,199 CA I am. See, there will be some memberships. Whenever the member dies, then they will cancel the membership. Again, they'll restore the number, they'll renumber it, then it happens. But actually, it is more than 5 lakh CS only in India. Employment alle baal ಇದೆ. Practice is too less.
CS lesson ಅಂದ್ರೆ
Huh?
CS.
Company secretary. Maybe 1 lakh. See, there is some called as campus placement, you know. Whenever you qualify, there is campus placement. One is, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಇದೆ. You have to register and they'll come there. In September 23, 10,000 students registered and 169 companies participated. So totally 383 interval teams were there. Jobs offered was 3,395. Accepted is 2,385, out of which highest package is 23.7 lakh per annum within India, and CTC means cost to company. With outside India, 50 lakh rupees around. The average salary is 12.32 lakhs. Starting freshers salary. Experiences they are given here. 1 to 5 years of experience, 12 lakh per annum CTC. Then 17 lakh, 26 lakh, 38 lakh. If you are having 20 plus years of experience, they are offering you 38 lakh rupees. See, it again depends on your negotiation, your skill, all those things. They are telling minimum you have to offer this much. You think anybody who is having 20 years of experience work for 38 lakh? I only will not work after 3 years for 38 lakh. Not at least not in crores. For example, some 80 lakh, 90 lakh ಆ range ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. And position will be at the top position. Salary depends on the company to company. Not necessarily board of directors.
CF.
CF is also board of directors. Just one level below board of director maybe. Because for like board of directors and CFO units like management, all those things, CFO can be reached at maybe some you're having adding so much of value to the company, then they'll recognize your valuation. You know Nagendra sir? Nagendra Bhakta, who is okay. He is teaching for intermediate. That we say.
Economics.
Okay.
Foundation college and economics.
So he used to work for one company. He is having almost like 20 years of experience. He's just below the CFO. They would have made him a CFO, but the company was foreign company. They wanted their country person to be the top level because they don't want the other country. That level, that is right. Business from business point of view, that accent, that contacts, everything is helping. That's why they wanted their country person. So he left and started practicing on his own. He's a CFA also. He's not practicing as a CA. He's practicing as CFA, certified financial analyst.
So you can practice both at a time.
No, only one thing. You can have multiple qualifications, but you can practice only one. One, what is that? Qualification.
Sir, but CA LLB they do both. Both degree for
ನೀನ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲ LLB is also degree and that is also like what is that professional degree only, that is LLB. Practicing is also considered as same as CA practicing. LLB practice because it is advocates. Either you can practice advocate or you can practice CA. You can put the name board as CA LLB, but you get one day license to practice. Either you will be an LLB license or you will be having a CA license. Even if you look at my visiting card, I will be writing that become CA, CMA, all the things. But I have only CA license, practicing license. I can't have more than one. It is professional misconduct. C Act specifically, what is that? Says this: you can't have multiple licenses. You can, and you cannot use any designation other than chartered accountant. If I am telling Viraj chartered accountant, then you should not write anything before and after. You can write Viraj CA, CMA. Abbreviations are allowed. But the moment you write as chartered accountant, because CA is a qualification, chartered accountant is a designation. You can't use multiple designations, you can use multiple qualifications. We feel CA and chartered accountant as only one because we never learned. When you come to final, there is, in case of auditing, there is one subject called as auditing and ethics. In that, you will learn professional ethics. I think I have discussed, if you fight with your wife and husband, then also you will be suspended. There is happened one case actually. One CA, we never know he is a CA or not. Whenever we become something, we put some stickers, right? Like CA logo, all those car. In a parking place, he was kissing his wife. His wife only, it is. But somebody recorded it and uploaded that, taking CA symbol and this thing. And that media house made like, they never took his name. See, consider if I do something, Viraj is doing this in the public, that has to be projected. But they showed like SCA is doing these activities in public place. Then our institute felt no how much budgety it is. Somebody is doing this for CA profession. That is why they suspended him. They should be careful. That's why I don't apply any sticker on my way. It is not that I do something, but we don't know. For example, I met with accident somebody, then I start quarreling with anybody. See, we are humans, it happens. Then it is CA logo, then somebody takes a video. CA fighting on the road, blocking the traffic. They start doing all those things. My family also told, see, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಓದಿ CA sticker ಹಾಕೋ all those. No. I know how disadvantageous it is to put all. Huh? ನಾ ನಿಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಡ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಸಮಾಧಾನ. Negotiable instrument at 1881. We will continue. See, Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. If you look at the act, it is too old. 1881, before independence, before so much thing. It is in the British colonial period. Colonial ಅಂದ್ರೆ British ruled India. At that period, it actually a foreign law. Just they changed it as Indian Negotiable Instrument Act, something like that, and they have applied it. Just copy paste and put it. So this Negotiable Instrument Act, what do you mean by instrument? ಯಾಕೆ ನಾಗತ್ರಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಸ್ತೇನೆ ಅವಲ್ಲಿಂಗ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ನಾಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜಲ್ದಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ನೀವು ವಾಶ್ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ? ಓಂಕಾರ ಯಾಕೆ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಾಶ್ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಕಾಲ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೇಳಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್? Instrument is something which is used for the purpose of facilitating some transactions, maybe some facilitating some other activity. Come down. ನೀನೇ ಸಿಕ್ಕೋತೆ ನೋಡು ಸಮರ್ಥ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? So what is negotiable instrument? Negotiable means what? It is transferable. Any instrument which is used for the purpose of transfer from person to person to facilitate a transaction is called as negotiable instrument. There might be so many types of instruments are there, but this negotiable instrument Act 1881 covers mainly 3 types of instruments. One is promissory note, second one is bill of exchange, third one is check. What is promissory note?
Instrument in writing containing an unconditional promise to pay to someone, pay to a certain person or order the bearer of it.
You told promise, again you are telling order. It is a instrument in writing. See, all the instruments should be in writing only, whether it is promissory note, check or bill of exchange. Every instrument has to be in writing. It is an instrument in writing which contains an unconditional promise to pay a certain sum of money to a certain type of person or the holder of instrument. For example, all the 3 things, specifically this promissory note and check, is used in the financial transaction. Bill of exchange can be used for the purpose of trade transactions. What is that? Credit sales, credit purchases, those things can be used. So, promissory note is an unconditional promise to pay a certain sum of money. If you look at the language which I am using, it is unconditional promise. That means I don't attach any condition when you are asking the money. When the time is over, I am putting myself into an unconditional promise. To pay what? To pay certain sum of money. The money should be certain. You can't like, okay, I'll pay after 1 year. How much? We will see after 1 year. No, it is not promissory note. It should be certain sum of money to either certain person or to the bearer of that instrument. Either to pay, either to Omkar, either to pay Samartha, Rakshay, something specific person, or to the bearer of that instrument. What is that bearer of instrument? The person who is holding that instrument is a bearer. I think everybody has attended NI class, right? So, you see there, some essential characteristics of negotiable instruments are there. Negotiable means this is transferable instrument. Negotiable means transferable instrument. It should be in writing. It should be signed. Transferable from person to person. Free from defects. What do you mean by free from defects? It should not be torn. It should not be like mutilated. It should not be like scratched. Something. It is free from every defect. And it can be transferred any number of times till its satisfaction. What is till its satisfaction? Consider it is 10 lakh rupees of promissory note. Until unless the 10 lakh rupees has been paid by the party who is holding that thing, then it can be transferable. It contains what? Unconditional promise. In case of promissory note, or unconditional order to pay the money. Either it can be unconditional promise or it can be unconditional order. In case of bill of exchange and check, we use the word order. In case of promissory note, we use the word promise. Then it is for payable of money only. The sum payable, the time of payment, and the pay must be certain. To whom you are paying, when you are paying, how much you are paying. It should be very, very certain. Then instrument should be delivered. How do you deliver? It can be delivered. How do you transfer the instrument? There are 2 ways of transferring. One is by mere delivery. Second one is by endorsement and delivery. If it is bearer of instrument, directly you deliver that, it is transferred. If it is, what is this? Order instrument, then you have to endorse it, sign it on back of it, and you have to transfer it to the other party. What is promissory note? It is an instrument in writing other than bank note and currency note, because these are the things which are there for facilitating the transaction. They are not the transaction. Containing an unconditional undertaking. Undertaking means promise. Unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. Is it okay? Do I need to explain again word by word? Then there will be two parties here. One is maker, second one is pay. What do you mean by maker? No, it is not bill of exchange, it is promissory note. Who is maker and who is pay? Pay means the person who is entitled to receive the money. Maker means the person who is writing that instrument and delivering that. Consider, I am asking Omkar to give 10 lakh rupees. Omkar is telling, okay, give me promissory note, I will give the money. That means I am the maker of the instrument. I am making and delivering it to you. And he is called as pay. The person who is entitled to receive the money after 1 year or after 2 years. That is what pay. The person who makes a promise to pay and person to whom the amount of therein is payable. Some essential characteristics of promissory note is there. Similar only. Writing should be there. It should be an express promise. It can't be an implied one. Express promise should be there. I promise Omkar to pay certain sum of money on certain date. It has to be written in the document. Without that, it can't be called as promissory note. And it should be definite and unconditional. And it should be signed by the maker of the instrument. If I am making that instrument, it should be signed by the maker of the instrument. Pay the money only, and the money should be certain sum. Yes.
So sometimes duly signed ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನಂತ DULY.
DULY. Duly signed means I am properly signing it. Yeah, respected sir, thankful. That is what duly. Duly means that is one type of gratification or something like that. Adjective or noun. Totally. And whenever you make it, it has to be stamped. Stamping is compulsory. Without stamping, you can't enforce in the court of law. Then comes bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is also same definition, but the wording changing here is unconditional promise has changed to unconditional order. It is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. It is, again, there will be how many parties here? There will be three parties. One is drawer, one is drawee, and pay. Here, single party can be in two positions. Consider I am buying credit goods on credit basis from Akshay. Now, Akshay is a seller, I am the buyer now. Who should draw the bill? Akshay only will draw the bill and send it to me. And I will sign it and I will send it back to Akshay. That means he is the drawer, I am the drawee. Now, who is the pay? The person who is entitled to receive the money is the pay. Consider we bought and sold goods for 3 months. The bill is with the Akshay only for 3 months. In that case, the drawer will be the pay, because he is the person who draws the bills and he is the person who receives the money also. But within 3 months, he wanted the money and he discounted that bill with some banker. Now, who will come and collect the money from me? Banker will come and collect, because bank has a bill now. He is the drawer, I am the drawee, and the banker will be the pay. Pay means a person who is supposed to get the money. If the bill is not transferred, drawer and pay is same. If the bill is transferred, the ultimate person who is receiving the money is called as pay. Then again, essential characteristics similar only. Writing, express, and it is order. Definite and unconditional. It must be signed. Drawer, drawee, and pay must be certain. Sum must be certain. Only money, and it must be stamped. Similar things. Then what is the process? Again, it is telling seller sells the goods, again buyer, it happens. Whatever I explained this transaction, that is what it is given there. Difference is not much important, but if it is asked in the examination, I can't do anything, but it is never asked in the examination till now. Then comes check. What is check? Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Check is also a bill of exchange, same as bill of exchange, but it is drawn on a specified banker. Drawn on a specified banker. Whenever you write a check, you will write what? Blank paper, or you write like some specific check. Bank check only will sign it and give it to the person. The check is a boy. Check is a boy which is drawn on a specific banker and not expressly to be payable otherwise than on demand. That means I wrote a check and give it to Shayan, and I'm what is the nature of check is unless until Shayan goes to the bank and submits it and orders it to pay, bank is not obliged to pay the money. Bank will never come to your house. Is there any checks? Shall I make a payment? No, it is not the case. It is like the check is not expressly to be payable otherwise then on demand. You should go on demand in the cash counter or the other counter, then only will get the money. And it includes two types. One is electronic image of truncated check and check in the electronic form. Electronic image of truncated check and the check in the electronic form. Then what is payable on demand? It means it has to go and present, then only we call it as. What is check in electronic form? Check in electronic form like just now I booked my tickets, railway tickets. I put my card details and I generated a OTP and I inserted the OTP and I completed the transaction. That OTP is like my signature. That entering the details of card things is like writing the check. It is called as electronic check. Any check which is used, which is generated using the computer softwares, internet, all those things is called as electronic check. There is one more thing called as electronic check in the truncated form. You remember that video I have shown? They will scan the check instead of sending the physical check to. Consider I gave a check. As an academy, I received a check of ICICI Bank, but we are maintaining a bank in SBI. Now I will go and deposit ICICI check in SBI. SBI will send the check to what's that? ICICI will give the confirmation. SBI will get the money. SBI will credit my money. This is how earlier happened. Physical movement of check. Now, instead of doing all these things, SBI will immediately scan it maybe by on the glass or something. It will scan it and it will send the electronic image of truncated check. Truncation means what? Conversion of physical image into electronic image. That is called as truncation, and it will be circulated in the throughout the banking system. That is electronic image of truncated check. How many parties are there for check? Again, three parties: drawer, drawee, and payee. Who is the drawer? The person who writes the check. Consider the person who is supposed to pay the money. Who is drawee? Bank, always bank. In case of check, the drawee is always bank because it is drawn always on a specified banker. Then payee is a person who supposed to receive the money. Then characteristics also same as bill of exchange. In addition to that, all the essentials of bill of exchange, it is always drawn on a specified banker and payable only on demand. There are two types of instruments. What are the two types of instrument? One is bearer instrument, second one is order instrument. What is bearer? Not written. Where the instrument is issued incomplete without writing the name. It is incomplete only with respect to the name, or the words bearer is written in case of that instrument. Document of title. Document of title. Those type of things are called as bearer instrument. The person who is holding that instrument can go to the bank and encash it immediately. What is order instrument? Check is drawn on a specified banker to be payable on a specified person. We call it as account payee check. In case of bearer check, you can go and encash it, but in case of account payee check, you have to go and deposit in your account only. Then only you will be able to encash the check at a later point of time. Bearer instrument and order instrument. Then inland instrument and foreign instrument. What is foreign instrument? Other than inland is foreign. What is inland? There are three conditions, out of which 1 plus 2A or 2B has to be satisfied. One has to be compulsory. What is that compulsory? It has to be drawn in India. What is second condition?
Payable in India or upon the distributor.
Either it is payable in India or it is payable to a resident in India, to a party resident in India. Compulsory it has to be drawn in India. Plus 2A or 2B. Then we call it as inland instrument. If not, it is foreign instrument. Then comes inchoate and ambiguous instrument. What is ambiguous instrument? The instrument is such a way that whether to treat it as promissory note or bill of exchange were in confusion. Then it depends on the party who is holding that bill or promissory note. That instrument, he can treat it as BOI or PN. The moment at his choice, when it is ambiguous, the moment it treats it as bill of exchange, then all the further transfers also you have to treat it as bill of exchange. What is inchoate instrument? It is an incomplete instrument. The instrument is incomplete with respect to either amount, either name or date or something like that. What is negotiation? Negotiation means transferability. How can you negotiate it? The negotiation can happen by two ways. One is by delivery. You transfer by directly giving it to the other party hand, or you can sign it and transfer it to the other party. Sign it and transfer it to the other party. One is delivery. Second one is endorsement and delivery. Delivery and endorsement and delivery. Generally, bearer instruments are always delivery instruments. Order instruments are always endorsement and delivery instruments. This before this or not, you please go through this one paragraph. Is there importance of delivery negotiation? See, whatever we discussed, it is bit important. The types of instruments are important in whatever we discussed. Now the remaining part is very important. Dishonor of check. The next concept is important. Mark it as very important. This question has come in the examination many times. Dishonor of check. You go and check the last attempt paper. If this question was not there in the last attempt, definitely you will get this question this attempt. It was there in the last attempt. You can get it also. Yes, it is. It happened. Huh? What? Pattern. See, not about one is pattern. Second one is this concept is important. The moment institute keeps on asking the same question in a different manner continuously, then people study it in a right manner. So institutes, what is that? The purpose is to make the people to know the law. That's why they keep on asking. They keep on asking one or the other alternative attempts like that. Dishonor of a check for insufficiency of funds in the account. I have given multiple examples in the regular class that Adani has come, that 20,000 rupees check he has given, then that is there. In that case, I have given that example even in Contract Act also. Vindictive damages are exemplary damages. When there is a loss of reputation, and one more is wrongful dishonor of a check. That is only it is there. Art of feelings is one thing and wrongful dishonor of the check. Two things are there. So whenever the check gets dishonored because of the insufficiency of the funds not available in the account, then the party who has issued the check is liable for some penalty, some punishment. That punishment is two punishments. One is a penalty of twice of the amount, up to the twice of the amount of the value which is mentioned in the check, or it is imprisonment up to 2 years, sir.
Maybe.
Imprisonment may extend up to 2 years, or fine which may extend up to twice of the amount of the check, or both. Anything can be done. This remembering is very important. What is the dishonor of a check? Where any check drawn by a person on an account maintained by him with a banker for the payment of any amount of money to other person from that account for the discharge in whole or in part or any debt, okay, for the purpose of payment of that, and it is returned by the bank as unpaid, either because of what, money in the account is insufficient to honor the check, or it exceeds the amount arranged to be paid from the account by the arrangement with the bank. That means either bank account does not have so much of money, or the check is not worth to write so much amount of check. Two things. If it is dishonored, then they shall be liable to a penalty of these things.
Sir, if bank permits OD,
Okay.
if
Then
the
what?
bank permits OD up to 1 lakh, and I have my account balance 2 lakh, and I write the check for 3 lakhs.
You can write. నీకు లిమిట్ అవుతుందా 1 lakh బట్ట ఇప్పుడు
అది నాకు 4 lakhs వెళ్తే డిసంబర్.
is it a askable question? No, I just asked. But this conditions punishment is not applicable if the other party does not submit the check within the validity period. What is the validity period? It is 3 months, not 90 days, from the date on which it is drawn or within the period of validity whichever is applicable. Then demand for the payment through the notice. What is this demand for the payment through the notice? Once it is dishonored, then don't directly go and put the case. You give 30 days time. Whenever you submitted it to bank and it dishonored, then you intimate to the party. See, your check is got dishonored. What should I do? You have to intimate within how many days? You have to intimate in writing within 30 days of receipt of information from the bank. Yes, your check is dishonored. The moment you intimate to the other party that check is dishonored, he has to reply within 15 days of intimation of that. Either within 15 days he should make the payment, or within 15 days he should write the new check and give it to me. Then only it is not applicable. And if he fails to make payment in due course of the check within 15 days of the receipt of the said notice, then totally 45 days, 30 days plus 15 days, there will be a penalty of up to 2 years of imprisonment, again twice of the both of check or both. It is what we call dishonor. That is what earlier discussed, now also we discussed in the same. The moment is dishonored, don't directly go to the court. Go to the party who gave the check. Give him the time. Within 1 month, you intimate to him. See, check has been dishonored. Then within 15 days of you intimate to him, he will write the new check or give the what is that? Cash or any amount, he'll arrange it. Then you don't go to the court. If not, then you go to the court and make him punishable for 2 years or twice or like that. Yes.
Only the drawer is punished, or both the drawer and the.
Why pay is punished? Pay is the person who is supposed to get the money.
If he does not give the notice, then even drawer is not.
Yeah, if you don't give the notice within 30 days, then you can't go under section 138. You can go and file the case, but 138 provisions are not applicable for you.
Plus 15.
Plus 15 means 30 days you have to intimate to the other party, and within 15 days he has to reply or he has to make the payment. Plus 15 means 30 plus 15 days, totally 45 days that is.
Sir, if the check was given on 10 bar dates, you can enforce.
Yes, definitely. Check is always a check. ಒಂದು ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಬಂದು ಬಡ್ದೋಯ್ತು. Yes. What is presumption in favor of the holder? The presumption in favor of holder is like the person who is holding the check is presumed that he has submitted the check and all those things has happened. It has dishonored. It is the other party duty to prove that check is not presented. That's why I am not liable something has to do that. Unless until it is a rebuttable presumption. The rebuttable means you can prove it wrong. Then you can be safeguarded. See, whatever we discussed, that is very important. The remaining things are very small concepts which are there. We will discuss that. Next one is presentment of instruments. When do you have to present the instrument? Presentment for acceptance. What is presentment for acceptance? At what time you have to present? Generally, you have to present in the business hours only, because check means it is not check. It is presentment of instruments. It is not the check. All the instruments are available here. It is for general rules we are discussing. You can present generally during the business hours of the business day. Not on Sunday, not after 6 o'clock, not before 9 o'clock. 9 to 6 is the business hours. If you don't supply within that period of time, then you can't hold the other party liable for not making the payment, because it is your duty to did not submit the instrument. And how do you present? You can directly go and present physically, or if it is permitted, then you can send it by a post office, means by a registered letter is sufficient. You don't need to go personally, you just send it by your post, then they do it. Then promissory presentment of promissory note for site. What is this presentment for promissory note for site? The moment you present it in front of the person, then they are liable to pay the money. Presentment on site. For site. That means you have to show it to the person. See, your date has become due, or I need the money, you make the payment. The moment it is shown as site, then they can decide earlier only, within 2 days, within 3 days, something like that, or immediately after the site. That has to be paid. Then presentment for payment. What is presentment for payment? Must be presented for payment to the maker or acceptor or drawee. Therefore, thereof respectively, buyer on behalf of the holder of therein. What is this? You have to get the payment, then you have to submit the check. Without submission of a check, without submission of a bill of exchange or promissory note, how can you get the payment? That is why it is presentment is compulsory. And if it is allowed, then you can send it even by post office also. Hours per presentment, generally what hours? Usually the hours of business, within the banking hours. If it is a check, generally banking hour. What is banking hour? 4 o'clock is the banking time. Bank closing time is 4 o'clock. For check, 4 o'clock is a time. But for other instrument, generally business hour. That is up to 6 o'clock, 9 and 6. Presentment for payment of instrument. Payable after date or site. What is this? Once you present it, I will pay after 3 days. I will pay after 5 days. That is what presentment, and after certain time. Then presentment for payment of promissory note, payable by installment. What is payable by installment? Whenever you show the instrument, then one installment is paid. Again, one more instrument, again one more payment. One more site, one more event. One more site, one more payment. It is like EMIs. Not so important, don't worry. They might ask a true or false question. Business hours means, for the check, business hours is generally the banking hours.
They ask for
Sometimes they'll ask some 2, 3 marks, 4 marks, 2 to 4 marks. One question
we
can.
have to give the reason also.
If it is for 2 marks, definitely less. If it is for 1 mark, no need to give the reason. And if the place is specified, then you have to play in that place only. If there is no exclusive place specified, then usual residence of the either maker or drawee or any case thereof. He does not know the place of business or residence in that case. Wherever he finds, he can submit that to the person. He found in a road, you directly give the instrument and get it done.
But at that time, if I don't have
You have to go and bring it.
the
ಅದು ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಅವಾಗ. You read it, please. I can't take these things. That is waste. I don't feel that is requirement of my thing. Only this thing I'll take rules for compensation. Till that point, some 4-5 points are there. You please go through it once. Read it. Section 72 to 77. 76 you read. If you don't understand, do ask. But there is nothing to explain concept. It is just one line. If you have our regular class material, I would have written like summary. This one place, time, all those things. I'm saving my throat for evening class. That's it. You don't have mathematics class, right? Start some maths. Next week? You read till the rules for compensation.
I chose preview ಹಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫಿ
ಬೇಡ
ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ.
ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ
ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಮೆಮೊರೀಸ್.
ಯಾವ ಈಸಿ ಆಗ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸಿ ಎಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿಸ್ತಾರೆ
ಸರ್ ನೋಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಸರ್
ಅಷ್ಟೇ
You know, ಯಾರೋ ರೊಕ್ಕ ಇಟ್ಟಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಇದ್ಯಾಕೆ ತಂದ್ರು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ?
ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಲವ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಷನ್.
ಇದು ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿರೋ ವಾಚ್. ಫ್ಲಿಪ್ಕಾರ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನಾ? ಸಖತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ ವಾಚ್. Online students, nobody is there, but you can see it later. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಫೋಟೋ ತರ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ತರ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ತರನೂ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಯಾರು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೋರಿ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮರ್ಥ. Whose idea it is? ಇವಾಗ ಸಮರ್ಥ ಹೆಸರು ಬರಲ್ಲ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೂ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ, ನೀವೇ ನನ್ನ ಫೇವರೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹಂಗೆ. ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಡೇ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ 27 ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್. ಆನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ August 1st. ಆನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ August 1st ಇದೆ. ಹಂಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವನ್ ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಂತೆ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾರೆ, ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತೆಷ್ಟು ಡೇಟ್? 1ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು. 1ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಅಂತೆ. ಬರ್ತ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನು 1ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಮಾಡಿಸಿದೆ ನಾ ಈಗ. ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ August ಬಾರ್ನ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಮ್ಮಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಟಿಲ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ 10th ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ದಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರ್ತ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ 27 ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ 10th ಯಾವಾಗ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಬಂದಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಗ ನೋಡಿದೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ 1st August ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ, ಅದೇನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋದೈತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದವ ಇದು ತಗೊಂಡೆ ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೇಳಿ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ನಾ ಏನೆಲ್ಲೂ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಬ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದೆ. 1st August ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲಿ. ಆಧಾರ್, ಪ್ಯಾನ್, ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್. ನಾ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಜನಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ಅದು December 27. ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಂಗೆ, ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ಡೇ ವಿಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ರಿಯಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಯು ಸಿ ದಟ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. August 1st ಅಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಡೇ? ಡೇ ನೋ ಮಾರಾಯ. ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಯರ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ಸ್. See, ರಿಯಲಿ ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಯರ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಟು ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಯಿಂದ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಟು ವಿರಾಜ್.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ಏನ್ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದು?
ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಸರಿ, ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಕುಂತ್ ಕಳಿಸಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಆಫೀಸಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಸಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೊದಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. CA ಏನ್ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆ? ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸಮ್ 7-8 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅವರು ವಿಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನನಗೆ. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ವಿ ವಿಶ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ಡೇ ವಿರಾಜ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ನಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದಷ್ಟು ನಾನು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಆ್ಯಪಿಂದ ದೂರ ಇರ್ತೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರ ಅಂತೇಳಿ.
ಜೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವ್ ಹಿಂದಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಹಿಂದಿ ಸೈನ್. It is Global Vipassana Pagoda, Mumbai. See, even Upstocks people also ಅವರೆಂತ ಕಾಮನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. SBI ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ಡೇ. ಯಾವುದು? RBI ಅಲ್ಲ. SBI is also there. So many people are there. ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ P ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಇದಾಗಿದೆ. ವಿರಾಜ್ ಪಿ ಈ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಕಳಿಸೋದಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಐತೆ. ವಿರಾಜ್, it is just like friends. ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲಿ. Tell us a friend. Please go through that. ಇದಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂದಿಂದು. ಮೃದಂಗ ಹಂಗೆ ಕ್ಯೂವಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿಟ್ಟು, ಸರ್ ವೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವಿಲ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೇ. ನಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ. ಅವ ಯಾವತ್ತು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾನೆ ಹೇಳು? See, even if you don't address it, truth is truth. See there, we will discuss this last rules for compensation. Compensation means whenever there is a dishonor, whenever you don't honor due date, the thing. The holder is entitled to the amount due upon the instrument, together with the expenses properly incurred in presenting, noting, and protesting it. What is this presenting, noting, and protesting? For example, we went to a bank, but the bank was closed, or the cashier said there is no balance, something has happened, and we came back to you. See, the bank is dishonoring the check. Please make the payment. Within 30 days only, I came back to you. But going to the bank, coming to you, this expenses is there, right? All those expenses, along with the whatever the amount due thereon, everything has to be borne by the what is that? The drawer of the instrument only. But what is this noting and protesting? Noting is like making the notary. If you say I don't want to pay, then you can directly go to the notary people and ask. See, please, he is telling that he will not make the payment. Then the notary advocate will ask, are you not making the payment within 15 days? If he say no, he will notarize it. If he say yes, he has to make the payment. That is why it is noting and protesting. Protesting means going to the court and protesting it. Then if you are if drawer, what is this, the drawer and pay, they're in a different place, consider other different countries, then the instrument will be drawn in the different foreign currency. Consider $1 lakh payable. Today it was payable. Consider 80 rupees is the exchange rate. Actually you should pay 80 lakh rupees, but tomorrow it has become 82, but you still made 80 lakh rupees of payment. In that case, I will get less than $1 lakh there. So whatever the difference between current yesterday and today's exchange rate, that has to be compensated by you only. If there is a if you and the other party residing in a place at different place at different from at which the instrument was payable, the holder is entitled to receive such sum at a current exchange rate between the two places. And an endorser who is being liable has been paid the amount due on the same is entitled to the amount so paid with interest of 18% per annum from the date of payment until the tender relation, like that, with all the expenses caused by dishonor. See, first one is plus 18% interest if you delay it for so many number of period of time. Again, same exchange rate, current exchange rate between two places has to be there. You remember this 18%, true or false can be asked. Negotiable instrument, only 18% is there. And this one is what is this? 1 second. Okay, what is this? Consider the bill has matured now. Promissory note. Consider promissory note. 1 lakh rupees is a promissory note. You return it as 10% interest rate after 1 year. After 1 year, the party who is supposed to make the payment, he did not make the payment. Then I have an option to draw one more bill for 1,10,000 and get it signed by the other party. That is what the last point. Because the moment if I exercise the old bill, the interest is calculated only on that 1 lakh rupees. The 10,000 interest is not calculated, interest on interest. But actually, that is I am supposed to receive the 10,000. If I have received that and invested somewhere, I would have received interest on that also. That is why the option is given here. At the due date, if the payment is not made, then you can draw a new bill for the principal, interest, penalty, everything combined together. Then you can present that bill for one more thing. Done. That's it. This can be asked. Rules for compensation, section 117. Almost we took only 1 hour, not more than 1 hour. Simple chapter only because we completed recently, like last week only. It would be easy. Please revise that because whatever the time you need to revise and remember, it is not much now. If you revise on an immediate basis, if you after revise one after, if you revise after 1 week, then again it's gone.
Sir, if the interest is added and then he has to pay the fine or double amount, so with the interest cash.
Yeah, with interest only has to pay. That is why we are drawing the new bill. If not, what is the use of drawing? Now that 1,10,000, full 1,10,000 will become the principal, and interest on that 110 will again get accumulated for the next year. Yes. Any doubts? You can ask. Thereby we complete our crash course, CA Foundation, Business Laws.
About
Accommodation.
accommodation.
ಅದು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Accommodation of bill, where is it? It is there in syllabus. Where is it? Accounts. No, how can I tell what is in account? See, accommodation means for the purpose of sleeping at night, we will prepare one bill and. See, accommodation means consider you wanted 1 lakh rupees, you are asking, sir, please give me 1 lakh rupees, I am in need of money.
There is no credit transaction.
ನಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬಿಡಿ ಈಗ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅಲೋ ಮೀ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ದಯಮಾಡಿ ನನಗೊಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡಿ. So he came to me, but I don't have the money, but I wanted to give the money. What I have is the credit worthiness in the society. So what I told to Nihal is, you draw a bill on me for 1 lakh, I'll sign it. Consider 3 months, how much time you need, you draw that. Then I'll sign it and I'll give it to you. It is as good as I am supposed to pay 1 lakh rupees to you. Then you can go and get the money by way of accommodating. That means that bill is not for the purpose of buying and selling the goods. That bill is for the purpose of accommodation of some financial needs. That is what we call it as accommodation bills. So you can go to the bank, discount it, get it 1 lakh and use it. After 3 months, again the bank will come to me, you pay me that 1 lakh rupees, I'll directly pay to the bank. That is what accommodation. Accommodation means whenever there is some financial emergency without any credit transaction, these type of bills are being drawn.
So in that case also if the bill is withdrawn.
Then same. That is like a bill only. But goods and services are not being transacted. That's it.
But there are sorry losses also.
Sorry?
Means that interest and all.
Same everything. It is like a normal bill only.
No, both are having the benefit of that amount. So
Both are having the benefit. Example.
ಸರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಯಾವ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೋ
If you have discounted that 1 lakh bill for 98,000, 2,000 is the discount. If I have taken 49 and if I have taken 49, 1,000 is I will bear that cost. 1,000 discount you have to bear.
in that case loss also.
Yeah, loss depending on the share, decided share, agreed share. Come, ಯಾರು ಈಗ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಅಕ್ಷಯ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರ್ರಿ we will call somebody to take a photo. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಫೋಟೋ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಮರ್ಥ ತೆಗೆಯೋಣ.